Good day, all stock market investors and stock market traders. This is Total Investor here. What we do on this channel on YouTube is that we discuss investment opportunities and trading opportunities using technical analysis, and that is means that we go out and look for stocks that are in breakout situations or turning around, basically looking for certain patterns that we feel that could offer some very good opportunities, short-term, intermediate-term, and maybe even long-term. Okay, so we're looking at charts, lots of them. And today I have 9 particular stocks that I think have some opportunity, primarily to buy, but initially we just want to put them on our watch list, see how they perform, and go from there. So the first one is AXP, and that is American Express. So that what we see here is the last high that I want to bring to your attention is back in mid-July. That was about 178, came down, and if we look at both where the stock is right now relative to the 10-day moving average here in pink, it is moving higher. It is above that. The moving average is turning up. Same with the 50-day moving average, so that's a plus sign. The RSI has bottomed out, turned back up, crossed above the 50, the trigger line. We're now at 58. That's a plus. And we got some good volume, 7.25 million shares, almost 3 times the 20-day average. Okay, so everything seems to be coming back up for American Express. Definitely something to look forward to. Next is Borr Drilling, BORR. Again, it's a similar pattern to the previous one. Topped out at around $9 back in early August, came right back down to 6 3/4. And what we have here, we've got a lower low, not much, but still a lower low on the stock price, moved back up. But if we look here on the relative strength index, we do not have a lower low. That second low was actually higher. So we're getting a divergence here. Okay, in this case, it's a bullish divergence. So this is actually a warning sign that the market might be leveling off and won't be going down anymore. And looking at the stock, the way it has been trading recently, that's exactly what has happened. Okay, the stock has moved up. It bounced off the bottom here. It is above the 10-day moving average, which is turning up. It is above the 50-day moving average, which is slowly turning up. That's all good. The RSI moving up above the 50 trigger line, which are 54.9. And we've got good volume, 3.6 million shares being traded on Friday, roughly twice, or actually just a little bit more than twice the 20-day average for Borr Drilling. Okay, so again, this looks like something that you should be putting on your watch list. Next is Capital One Financial Corp. COF is a stock symbol. This one topped out here at around, what would that be, around 118, give or take. Back in mid-July, pulled back. We have the stock which initially hit the low of $100 in late August, then made another low early September. So that was a lower low on the stock price. Looking up here, we've got a higher low on the RSI. So that is a divergence. In this case, it's called a bullish divergence. Okay, the stock has gone above the 10-day moving average, is what we want to see. Not quite at the 50 yet, but I think it should get there. We've got a little bit of resistance here where it is right now, 104.5, give or take, maybe 105. But I think we should be able to get through that. The volume, 4 million shares being traded today on a good solid up day, closed right at the highs, twice the 20-day volume average. So everything is looking good for Capital One. Put this one on your watch list. Next, Canadian Solar, CSIQ. Okay, this one topped out back in late May at I believe just around $45. Came back down all the way down to I believe it's around $26 here, or 26 and change, and it has leveled off. It bounced off twice off of that support level. If we look here on the RSI, even though we've got a leveling of the stock, the RSI did not level off or didn't go lower. It actually went higher. So we have higher lows in the RSI. So that too is a bullish divergence. Now, unfortunately, it didn't go higher. The stock, we're still flat. So it's showing that it's weak. It's still in a bearish formation. However, the bearishness that it used to have isn't there. So it looks like it's losing strength on the downside, basically. Okay, we want to see the both of these moving averages, the 10 and the 50-day, to be moving up. The stock should be above that. Plus, it has to break this downtrend line. So it's going to take a little bit of work, but if we give this enough time, and if you put on your watch list and it gives us a good buy signal down the road, I think we've got a very good percentage mover. Okay, so we're nowhere near a buy signal as of yet, but again, it's something to consider down the road if the stock starts to perform the way we want it to. Okay, so next is National Storage Affiliates Trust, NSA. This I drew a trend line coming from the high back in early April. Touched it again in mid-July, and it finally broke the trend line at the end of August, coming down from 43 down to, what is that, 32, so around $31. Big percentage loss, but it looks like it's finally wants to move higher. We've got the initial downtrend line break. That's a good plus. We had some resistance here at this level. It finally broke through after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days being above that level of resistance. That's a big plus. The stock is above the 10-day moving average and above the 50-day moving average, and they both crossed. That's a plus. Plus, we've got the RSI above 50. That triggered it well, just more than several days ago. That must be like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So that's a big plus. Plus, we've got the volume, 1.3 million shares, which is above the 20-day average. So everything is looking positive for this particular stock. Next, we got Telesat Corp, TSAT. This one is not a buy, but it's really just to show you what the formation itself. Going back from the lows here at around 8.5, give or take, all the way up to 23. That is a flag, and here we've got the post of the flag, and this is the flag itself. The way you would measure the target, assuming of course that it breaks the flag formation, is from here at the bottom, 8.5, 23, roughly again. So you would take that particular distance, which is, if I could do my math in my head, 13, 14, let's call it $14. Depending on where the bottom of the flag formation is, let's say it's $16. So you would count 16 plus this distance, and you get about $30. Again, this is just like a guesstimate here. I don't know if it will even form or complete the flag. Okay, but if it does and it levels out at around $16, that's where it is. So something to look at. Probably won't happen in the next couple of days, but something to be prepared. And one thing that you can be looking at in the meantime is watch the RSI, because the RSI is usually gives you an indicator or a warning as to where where the stock could be going. It gave us a warning here that the stock made a high and then another high, but look what happened to the RSI. High, but it did not make a new high. It actually made a low. So that gave us a warning that the strength was just not there, and it wasn't. It came right back down. So watch this. When the RSI breaks the downtrend line, moves higher, hopefully it'll be above 50. That might be an early warning signal that the stock might be bottoming out, and it could be a change in trend. Okay, so TSAT. TSAN is next, Tyson Foods. Topped out early May at around $63. Got a downtrend line, touched it again in early August. And today, Friday, it broke through, and they closed pretty much on the line. Okay, still good. We've got the stock above both 10-day and 50-day moving averages. They are almost crossing or almost touching, and the RSI is above 50. So this is almost there for a buy signal. Okay, and the volume, 4 million shares, substantially above the 2.8, where it usually gets over the last 20-day volume average. Next, we've got Eczema Corp, XOMA. Excuse me. The high from this, I drew the trend line from the high back in late March, all the way down here, touched the moving average again mid-May, and all the way down. Finally, Friday, it broke through. It broke through. The stock is above the 10-day and the 50-day. They have not yet crossed, but that should probably happen on Monday. Lots of volume going through, 83 million shares, well above the 20 million shares, 4 times the volume. That's a big plus. Plus, the RSI broke its 50 several days ago. We're up at 72. That's good. It might pull back for a little bit of rest because it did move higher, although some fundamental news as to why this may have happened is that there was a brokerage firm that put out a new buy recommendation, and well, they've got a nice target on this one. You're going to have to review it. I don't recall what it was. I believe it was something like maybe $76 or something like that, or that would be a very big move if that happens. Again, we're not concerned so much with the fundamentals. It's more the technical nature of because we're looking at charts. And I believe this is the last one, Zynex, ZYXI. The topped out early May at around $15. Touched it here late July, and then finally broke through on Thursday. Broke the trend line, although Friday was a little bit of a down move, unfortunately. The stock is right at the 50-day moving average, still above the 10. And the RSI did break its trend line, although we're now back down below it, but we're still above the 50 in positive territory. Very high volume, 4.5 million shares over what it usually gets. So this one, although positive, I think when you might want to wait a day or two or maybe 3 just to see if it confirms, if the stock price confirms the move or the break above the trend line, and with the moving averages as well. So that looks like that's it for now. Yes. Okay, so again, everything, I just want to reiterate, everything that I've mentioned is for educational purposes only. This should not be construed as financial advice. Obviously, I'm not your financial advisor. I don't know you, don't know your financial history, your risk tolerance, or anything like that. But if you feel that you've gotten some kind of usage out of this for some kind of benefit, a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel. You should be getting daily updates. And if you can, please spread the word on social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, you name it, and help this channel grow. Thank you, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.